Audio. In 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 audio.
Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome to Saeed TV, and we are live for the best of the rest show. We got the man them in the building. We got Premsy in the building. Premsy, what are you telling me?
Yo, I'm good, bro. As people must know, proposed on holiday, you get me, got down on one knee like a real man, you get me, fam. So obviously I missed last
Big man,
show,
congratulations.
but now big up everybody. But
Congrats,
back
bro.
now.
Congrats.
I missed last week's show and I watched it back. It was a cracking show, boys. But I'm glad to be back, and I think we got a lot to discuss today.
Absolutely, absolutely. We got Rom in the building. Tired from months, but big up to you, Roms, as well, for joining us.
Big up, so thanks for having me again. This weekend I could just enjoy football. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably gonna catch a bit of strays in this show. It's inevitable, but I could just relax and watch the other teams. But no, thanks for having me again. Big up from the first time streaming
Right,
Lewis, George, brothers. As
Big up, G.
I mean,
Come on.
yeah.
Always, man. We got George in the building. Patrick wanted a break from Tottenham, so he told us to come and help him out. What you say, bro? What you saying?
Yeah, man. I would like to say everything's good, but it's clearly not. It's clearly not. As my brother Patrick said, man, we gotta just bounce off each other, and sometimes we gotta take breaks. I'll feel in for him, he feels in for me. You know how it is, man. So, yeah, we're going through it right now. But it is what it is.
Come on. Definitely, Lewis. I definitely know you need a break as well. You know what I'm saying? It's been madness with Potter. What were you telling me?
Bro, we were 3 minutes away from 40 points. And my football can't even bring me that before April. Whatever, in it. Typical Chelsea. But big up all you, man. Big up the comments. And yeah, let's do this. Let's do this.
Come on. Listen, people, I'm in Paris, innit? And the Paris Wi-Fi isn't Wi-Fi-ing, you feel me? Like, so apologies if I'm cutting in and out, but hopefully I should be okay, man. I'm looking to be alive after last night, man. I don't know if you might see my Instagram live, but bro, it's a war zone.
I heard about it. What was there protests outside your hotel or some shit?
Brother, I'm in the Bastille, you know, they call it the Bastille, you know. I don't know if you heard of the Battle of the Bastille, but bro, listen, I come out the metro, bro, I see guys with AK-47s walking past and I'm thinking, right, what's going on? Then I'm seeing protesters throwing grenades. I'm just like looking at that, thinking, yo.
Grenade.
And then one of my friends is like, yo, should we go for a scran? And I said, bro, bun the scran. I'm going to the yard, man. You're mad about scran, you know?
I thought you was in Paris chasing Kim K, fam. That's what I thought you was on.
Yo,
Bro. I'm telling you.
She
They
needs
don't
to stay away
even
from
know.
football clubs. She needs to stay away. Everywhere she goes, they end
Bro.
up losing.
Now get her a Real Madrid v Chelsea ticket ASAP. So we need all the hope we can
Bro.
get.
I'm telling you, man. Listen, by the way, the French girl over here, though, I'm not gonna lie, though, they're still so. You know what I mean? I'm on a scouting mission, but other than that, you get me. Like, man's out here breaking that. You get me? And yeah, man. Listen, we need to talk about
Conte, Nash,
Conte, man.
bro.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly, man. Listen,
Literally.
never. Yeah, man. But George, let's start with you, man. Conte. He looks like he's leaving. Ryan Mason's getting the job, bro. You couldn't write a script, man. You couldn't actually write, man. Can you?
Do you know what it is? Yeah. Are we surprised? Probably not. It's been building up for a while. We all know what Conte's reigns end like, and they always end this way. They end very disruptive. He gets very angry. He starts calling out either the club, the players. He starts putting the blame onto everyone else but himself. Just to go back to the game very quickly, it's shocking, man. Come on, it really is typical Spurs. Like you said, when the pressure's off, we play good, and when the pressure's on, these boys just don't know what to do. They really can't hack the pressure. We're 3-1 up, 12 minutes to go. All we had to do was see out the game. But it's the same silly mistakes, the same silly players, and it's just all a bit boring, to be honest. I'm really bored of talking about it. Like these same players, the likes of Dyer, Davies, Højbjerg, like these mid players that are currently just bringing our club down and have for the last 5, 6, 7 years. I don't really have a problem with what Conte said in his press conference because on the fans' point of view, we've been saying this for a long time. We call out the players, we call out the club, we call out the manager, but there's only so many times we can call out the club and the manager when you just have to look at the players and say, look, it's you guys. Harry Kane, you're a failure, bro. You're a failure. Like as much as I'd like to, I love this guy. He's a legend for my club, but since he's been here, he's not dragged this team to nothing. We've gone in games like this where all we need to do is see it out, get a few more goals, and just have some character, have some mentality, and put it into these players. Turn up. We got 10 minutes to go, see out the game, and they just can't do it. He can't lead the team. He's not I don't feel like he's captain material. He's a player that is very good with his ability, but he's not someone that will lead the squad with their voice. Like someone like John Terry or someone that's just going to go at the players, go ham into them, shout at them, scream at them, and be willing to fight these players if they're not in the same mind frame as you. Because they care about winning so much, and that's what Conte is on. He's pretty much gone. He's going to get sacked this week. I'm not happy about it, to be honest, because I'm still Conte in to this day. I want us to go out there, back the manager, give the manager what he wants. Let the manager rip up this squad. Let him say, you're gone. Terminate the contract. Do what you need to do. Do what Arteta done for Arsenal. There were certain players that he didn't like, certain players that he wanted to get rid of, and he terminated the contract straight up. He didn't care about the money. It wasn't about the finances. It wasn't about what was best for the club. It was about what's best for this squad of 11 and about what the mentality of the team is like. And we need that. And at the moment, clearly, our mindset isn't in the right frame of mind to see out this season. I don't see Conte seeing out this season. And no matter what manager does come in until the end of the season, whether it's Ryan Mason or someone else, I'm not sure there is much you can do with this squad. I really don't. It's not that the squad's bad. It's just the mentality is not there. And we might get a new manager bounce for 5 or 6 games, but I'm really not bothered about top 4. At this moment in time, I just want to know what the long-term plan is for Tottenham. I want to know how we're going to see the future, where we're going to be going. Because right now, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this club. I don't know who's going to be playing for Tottenham in summer. I don't know who our manager's going to be. I don't know whether we're aiming for mid-table. I don't know if we're aiming for the top 4. I don't know if we're aiming for what. I don't know what the next steps are for Tottenham because the club, the owners, they haven't really made a clear plan. And there's really nothing to be happy about right now. I'll be so honest. Like, there really isn't. Even if we finish 4th, I might sit here and banter a few of the rivals, but I'm not going to be happy with it because 4th is the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum for a club like us. And for what I expected this season, it was the least I expected. I thought if the season's bad, fourth is the way that we end up. So I can care less about that. I want to see a progression. I want to see a clear plan going forward because it's just a mess over in North London.
George, do you know what it is? I know what's next for Tottenham. The North London Westfield going to get your F1 go-kart under the stadium, WizKid, Beyonce. We know what's next for Tottenham now. Jokes aside, bro, do you know what it was for me? You're spot on. Everything Conte said, we all know. That's been Spurs, that we know that. But for me, it's the fact he took no accountability whatsoever because this was inevitable, bro. Like, you're going into Spurs, you know Levy's. To be fair, Levy, we all know he's stubborn, but he's backed him as much as he could. We all know this was going to happen. Everywhere he's gone, he's kicked off. So this was inevitable. But for me, it's the fact he was putting blame on everyone else but him. Because I think you would agree as a Spurs fan, George, there's certain things that putting Jed Spence on loan when he's your best fullback, not putting on Danjuma. There's certain things he could have done as a manager to put you in better stead. That's why I'm like, you know what? I get it. There's a lot wrong with your club and you're spot on, but come on, take a bit of accountability for yourself as well, Carl. You can't be doing that. You're employed by the club, one of the highest paid managers, and you're just out in the club like that. It was crazy.
The thing is, though, he even said in his interview, he was like, I get paid a lot of money. The players get paid a lot of money. And he did take some accountability. But like you said, obviously not enough. There's a lot more ways that he could have done to change this. But I feel like he's in the mindset that he's wrong and strong. He's one of these guys that he's going to continue with his ways no matter what, because this is what he believes. And whether he's going to be wrong, he's going to keep going that way because he just wants to prove a point. And that's all he's doing right now. He's proving a point to show how bad this squad is. No matter if you bring in me, Danjuma, I'm not going to use Danjuma because at the end of the day, this squad's still shit and it's not challenging for the title. And that's what he feels in his mind. And he keeps repeating, I'm not used to this situation. I'm not used to this. He's not used to it. And he's right. The team has got worse since last season, but it's got worse because of him. He hasn't done enough to improve the team, and he hasn't done enough, I say, tactically to make the team adaptable in games. So,
no, Ramsey's right though, bro. Ramsey's right. Like, he's got to take accountability because at the start of the season, Tottenham won the transfer window. You get me? It's not like this guy is serious. It's not like this guy hasn't been backed in it. He's been backed. And he's got players through the door. He got backed a lot more than Pochettino. But this guy, he wants to.
He didn't get back more than Pochettino. A lot of these players.
Nah. Yous man were screaming. Yous won the transfer window. You get me? Yes, you did, bro. At the start of this season, every Tottenham fan was going on that they won the transfer window. Basuma, Romero, all of these man that yous have brought in, it was a mad thing, Now, I was hearing even Toby on the Big Six, we're winning a trophy this season. We're winning a trophy this season. Saeed, did he not say that? You get me?
What did Patrick say?
We win a trophy, but no one said about winning the transfer.
Patrick, what did Patrick say? He thinks they're winning a trophy. You know what I mean? All I'm saying, is that he needs to take accountability. When things ain't going right at Spurs, change the system up. You get me? Try different players. Don't see with Jed Spence. This guy was one of the most promising young right backs in the country last season. He couldn't even get a sniff. Even when Emerson Royale was playing dog shit. You get me? He needs to take accountability. Now you see him doing up Ryanair, flying back to Italy and that, It's all a mad thing. And I think with Tottenham, is right what he said about the players. Is right what he said. He needed to call these players out, but take accountability yourself. I can't see him being there much longer. And for me, if I was a Tottenham fan, I wouldn't even want him there at all. You get me? Because the way he's come out at the club, the way he is in press conferences in general throughout the season, it ain't going to give no good team spirit. You get me? And also, he's got no plan B. There's no plan B to Conte's play. The way things have gone now, really, you should be in the semi-final of the FA Cup. You shouldn't have got knocked out by AC Milan. You get me? He needs to take accountability for that. He's picking the players and he's putting them players on the pitch. When you're talking about Harry Kane, it's not just down to one man to drag you through. It's about 11 players on that pitch. You get me? He's done his job over the number of years for Tottenham, putting the ball in the back of the net. But he can't go back and start defending. He can't be playing in midfield. And he has actually been doing that over the last couple of seasons, dropping his position, coming into midfield and trying to make stuff happen. So it's not all down to Harry Kane. Personally, I wouldn't call him a failure. Obviously, he hasn't won anything. But the guy, if it weren't for him in your team, you would be at best probably 10th, 11th, bro. I'm telling you now for a fact.
That might be true, but again, like the level that he's setting is cool. But obviously, as I said, for me, he's a failure as a player because obviously he's not done enough.
You need to be calling man like Son out, man. You need to be calling man like Son out.
He's a cap.
disappeared this
He's
season.
the captain. He needs to lead this team, not lead by example. Lead by the mentality, setting these players' mind. If you're not good enough, do not turn up to training. Do not come on this pitch. I do not want to play with players. He needs to set the standard for the club.
I respect WWE. They got better.
As a club captain, he should be going to the owners and saying, I don't want to be playing with players like this. I don't want to be playing here when you've got these players that are shit year in, year out, dragging me down, making me look worse. That's how he's got to go. And clearly
he's only the captain by default, in it, because he's the best player, and that's the way your club are ran. They've just put the best player as a captain. They haven't looked at it and seen who the guy with the biggest balls is, and who's going to do that. Do you know what I mean? So that's not down to Kane.
But that's why Conte said we aren't a team, we're individuals. Kane's clearly an individual. He's obviously at this moment in time more focused on himself and scoring the goals. Like I said, he'll get his goals and he'll be happy. But if the team's not performing, these players are happy with mediocre. They talk about top.
Do you know what though, George? I won't agree. I don't agree with that, bro. Because Harry Kane, if he was an individual, he would be staying his ass in the box, trying to just get them goals. We've seen time and time again, this guy's dropping back in the midfield, trying to create for other people, make shit happen, and he's only doing that because he's the only best player in that squad. Nobody else is at the same kind of level as Harry Kane, so they can't just throw all the pressure on him. You get me? It's like at the time of RVP when we had Robbie van Persie and he was smacking the goals in. The rest of the team behind him weren't so great. Do you get me? It's going to be another scenario with Harry Kane. Did I not tell you, Saeed? Did I not tell you at the start? Harry Kane is going to United. No one believed me. Yeah, everyone was saying, nah, Patrick, he was hearing that and he was having a heart attack. I didn't want to hear it at all. But I'm telling you now, yeah, that's the next move for him. Somewhere like that, Bayern Munich, Man United. It smells like an RVP situation. And I'm just buzzing. Southampton, the Arsenal boys stepped up. You get me? Theo Walcott, you get me? And Ainsley. And that's what happened to you. You get me? They know what it means to play against Tottenham.
You know what it is as well, George? Yeah, the things with Conte that I've deeped as much as he called out everyone, and you could say rightly so. I think he's gone in the next 48 hours. That's what all the outlets are saying. But let's say worst case scenario, he stays. The players are probably going to down tools. They're going to think, "Raw, my man just dissed all of us. We're not going to play for him the last 10 games." So for me, you're pissed either way. But
those players, not players.
What would be the difference, though?
That's the player.
Maybe they just drop a few more points.
And we chose to back him. And we saw those players. Those players shouldn't be playing for us next season under him. Those players shouldn't be here in general. He's calling out the players. The players need to look within themselves and look at themselves. And they need to have a reality check, because right now, as he said, years and years and years, we haven't won a trophy. Years and years and years. These players have failed us as fans. They're not doing enough. So if there's a problem with him calling them out, they need to check themselves, and the owners need to get rid of them.
Bro.
The problem, though, they're not going to care. They're just going to bring in Ryan Mason. Then they're going to bring in Pochettino. Then everyone's going to be happy again. And it's all just rosy. Tottenham just needs a comfort blanket, and that's all it is with Tottenham.
Do you know what is sad? That obviously me and George are going through similar things. Our ownership is messing up our club. But for me, Conte was brought in to elevate. I knew he wouldn't, but Conte was brought in to elevate Spurs. He was supposed to be that figure to start making you win trophies. Because I'm not going to lie, when he first came in, I thought, I don't back Tottenham to win no trophies, but for me, I still thought you would get near, maybe a semi-final or final. I think, you know what, you picked Arsenal to fourth, and even last season it was kind of a facade, because shameless Spurs fans will say you were better than Arsenal, but over the 38 games, we know they kind of did last 4 or 5 games, but we know last season was kind of false. But you have to give him credit for that, because I think you won 9 out of your last 11. He got you to that fourth. I said, you know what? He needs to now kick on and win a trophy. Irrespective of your history, he needs to now do that. And the fact now it's gone tits up and now he wants to throw his toys out the pram. He was supposed to be that guy to elevate your players' mentality. He was backed in the summer. So for me,
he's definitely being backed, man. Definitely be back. Look at the players he's brought in, bro. He's brought in Christian Romero, Jed Spence, Langley, Charlatan, Perisic, Basuma, Bentancur, Kulizeski. Nah. He's brought these guys in. You get me? Pedro Porro, Danjuma.
Romero was brought in prior to Conte.
Bro, these are all saying this guy's the best centre back in the league at points, bro. What are you talking about? He's under a minute.
What type of manager is Conte? We can all sit here and say he's defensive manager. He hasn't brought in no centre backs.
So who's buying Richarlison? Who's buying Danjuma? Who's buying
that, George? He bought in Longley, I swear. Don't do that.
But this is where you go wrong. Longley was the backup. He's a loan because we couldn't get none of our centre back options.
You wanted Bastoni, innit?
We wanted Bastoni. We wanted Hincapie or Ndicka. We wanted a few options.
Bro,
none of our options that we wanted.
I'm not hearing it. We didn't get none of our first options, and they worked out. You get me?
No, but Prems.
We wanted Martinez. We got Zinchenko. Worked out. We wanted Caicedo. We got Jorginho. It's worked out. We wanted Mudryk. We got Trossard. It's worked out.
From your first option to your second option isn't that bad.
He's got a point there. George. He's got a point there.
He hasn't though, because the fall off from Bastoni and Gvardiol to Longley is a massive fall off. Longley was brought in on a loan for a reason. He didn't want Longley. He settled for Longley.
So what's he done with Basuma? What's he done with Basuma? What's he done with Basuma? What's he done with Richarlison?
For the past 3 months. Basuma's been injured for half the year.
When he's been there, what's he done with him? Has he elevated his game? Has he elevated Richarlison?
Okay, Basuma went from a midfield 3 to a midfield 2. He hasn't adapted. Is that the manager's fault or the player's fault? The player's not turned up. Can't blame the manager. Pedro Porro's come in and he's looked amazing the last 2 games. He looked very good. I ain't got a problem with that. The other players that he's brought in, Emerson was brought in prior to him. Perisic hasn't been good enough. We can all sit here and admit Perisic just hasn't been good enough. He's got assists, he's got goals, but defensively, he's been poor. A liability. Our back line has been our problem for the past 3 to 4 seasons. We've not improved it. Conte hasn't improved our back line because we've not brought in no new centre backs.
But who's that down to? Because you've spent money all everywhere else around the pitch.
That's not down to the manager.
Because Conte got no blame in this? Because from what I'm hearing from you, it sounds like Conte's innocent. You get me? Gets off
Conte has blame
because I'm not gonna lie, bro. By you conceding goals. Now I'm not. I'm being serious, bro. Everyone here knows. Everyone here, barring you, knows Conte's got to take some serious responsibility.
I sat here and said Conte needs to take blame. You're not listening, then, bro. George, I sat here and said that Conte needs to take blame for his tactical inability to adapt in games. That's where he takes blame. But when it comes to bringing in players, he didn't get fully backed. All Tottenham fans will sit here and say he hasn't been fully backed. The club hasn't backed him. We've not had no players signed in the positions that we've needed for him to thrive. He's a ball-playing defensive manager. He builds out from the back.
Yeah.
George, you have to look at him because then he's an enabler because he knows what Levy's like, bro. You signed the contract. You knew this is what you
can't do that. Can't do that, Roms. Because if he made promises, obviously Levy come in and made promises to him. Whether you know what Levy's like,
but George, they'll probably short term.
Was Kulizeski and Bentancur not his signings then?
They were, and they've been
Perisic not his signing.
Bentancur's been out for the half of this season.
Was Perisic not his signing? Because we know he signs Perisic everywhere he goes.
Perisic has not been good.
This is what I'm saying. No, but it doesn't matter whether he's been good enough. They're his signings, though, innit? He's made them signings. He's gone in for the option to go and get them.
Were amazing signings. They're still great signings.
No. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. You're saying that he's not being backed. He's not got his players in over the line. But what I'm saying is Bentancur, Perisic, Kulizeski, I'm sure Pedro Porro, these guys are his signings. So he has been backed. He has the board. They've gone out there and spent money on players that he wants in it. It's down to him. It's down to him if they're not performing.
Wait, 190 million on 14 players. That isn't really backed. I don't think that's an amazing turnaround. That's 14. That's an average of 15 million per player. We're not bringing in big signings like you guys are. Some of the other teams are where they're actually backing a manager. Ten Hag comes in, gets an 80 million pound signing, a 50 million pound signing, top players that he wants. He's not getting that. Conte's getting second.
I think you know what it is, though.
Players that he wants.
George, it's back to my. So just before we go inside, it's back to my point that we all knew Levy and Enid would back Conte short term, but we knew it wouldn't be a reoccurring thing. Every summer he's going to get this big transfer kitty. We knew this. That's
only had one summer. He's only had one summer window.
True. You know what?
But he also signed a deal for 18 months as well. So it works in roundabouts. You know what I mean? He shines a short-term deal. What do you get? You get short-term plans. So at the end of the day, Conte pulled himself in this mess and he's out of it. So listen, I want to try and move on because I want to move on to Declan Rice talks. Big up to everyone who's locked in, guys. There's over 600 of you in the chat. Please hit that like button. My man's in Paris and giving you a live stream. So hit that damn like button, man. And make sure you're following the man them. You get me, Premsy TV. Make sure you're following Big Six Bants, Carefree Lewis and George on Twitter. Make sure you follow them, man. Cosmic Cleanse says Conte is to Spurs and what Ragnick was to United. Listen, Ragnick was an interim, man. This guy was a full-time elite manager, as they call it, man. So we can't talk about that one, man. Let's talk about Declan Rice. Lewis, we're gonna start with you. He wants to leave West Ham. You know what I mean? Are we in the Cobham's finest? Is coming back to Chelsea? What are we saying, man? Obviously, he wants to leave West Ham. Would you take him? By the way, you've always been a not his greatest fan.
Just I don't get the hype when people are talking about 100 million or something. But if he's under like 70, I'd be fine with it. But I don't think he's coming Chelsea anyway. We've been linked with him for about 3 years, and we've not made a single bid. Not shown any like serious concrete interest. It's all just been PR and interest and media bollocks, but we've never actually gone in for him. So I don't think we're going to do it now either. Not unless the price tag really just drops down. If anything, I think he's going Arsenal. Apparently, Arteta's been in talks with him since October. And if we're losing Mason Mount, like I think we are, that's another reason why I don't think he's going to join. If we got no European football and his best friend ain't here, there's no reason for him to want to join us over another top 6 side. So I don't think he's coming Chelsea. I haven't thought he's coming Chelsea for a while. If he joins another club, I'm not even going to be too pissed. It just means I don't have to hear Declan Rice to Chelsea anymore, and that would be a lot more relieving to me than anything else. But yeah, I don't see him at Chelsea.
His best friend's leaving Chelsea as well, innit? So you probably don't want to go there anymore.
Oh, innit?
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm fine with that. I don't need either of you. We can find the Declan Rice for cheaper. I'm fine
How about
with
Liverpool
that.
take both of them?
Yeah, go for it.
That's a proper Liverpool deal, man.
We won't buy
Hendo, Rice and Mount. You can't get no more fish and chips.
That's Brexit, bro. We don't want them free. That's Brexit.
You know what it is, though? I think with Declan Rice, I don't know. I feel like now all of a sudden he suits Arsenal more now than anything. And this is the way that, the managers kind of... I think Declan Rice is a technical footballer. I think a lot of people give him too much discredit. He's very, very technical. I think for me, Arteta would get the best out of him more and elevate his game more. You know what I mean? I don't know, Premsy, what are you saying? Declan Rice, Arsenal...
Do you know what, bro? I'll be honest, I'm with Lewis on the sense of the £100 million hype and that. I'm not kind of with it. I think if we got him for like, say, 50, 60 million, yeah. But I just have a feeling that West Ham are going to price him out of a move because we've seen with Arsenal, with Mudryk, if the price ain't right, they ain't going to go and sign the player. Obviously, I know we're going to be touching on Bellingham in a little while, but the Mirror's reported that Arsenal could potentially be in for Bellingham. And you know what? That's a player that will suit us right down to the ground. You get me? He's young. He'll fit the bill, and it'll be a perfect. Bro, we win that Premier League. We are that club, fam. You get me? What are you talking about? You don't use me to me right about now. You get me? Use a hanging on the top. Oh, you get me, bro? Use man a hanging on the top. You get me? You're hanging on.
Have you got the money to go over that £100 million barrier? When's that side spent over 100 million?
We can do that. The thing is with this squad that you need to look at.
Have you spent over 100 million on the player?
Listen. Just listen to me, yeah. We can do that. And the reason we can do that, because at the moment, even with the signings that we recruited in January with Trossard and Jorginho, we have got some kind of squad depth now. Now, when you're looking at Arsenal play, when everyone's fully fit, we've got a good 11 and we've got a good bench as well. We've got the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe on there, Jorginho on there, and Nketiah, who stepped in and proved that he can score goals. We've got the likes of Kivior that we brought in. We've got also Tomiyasu, Kieran Tierney. We can go out there and spend most of our budget on one player if that's going to really, really improve the squad. And now Granit Xhaka's looking at the age of 30. He's going to probably be here for a few more years. If that, a Jude Bellingham will come in and fit that role perfectly. And that's what I want to see. I want to see Arsenal aiming to go and get them kind of players. If we win the Premier League, why can't we go and get them kind of players? We've seen when Arsenal have been dead, we've gone out and got players like Aubameyang, Sanchez, Ozil. We're a big draw still, you know what I mean? So I would prefer a Bellingham than a Declan Rice. But if Declan Rice come in, I'll back him, support him. And I guess that you're right. I think Arteta would get the best out of him.
So,
does anyone think Declan Rice is overrated in it?
I don't think I think he's underrated.
Depends on how you rate him.
Yeah.
I think he's a good box-to-box midfielder, but I don't think he's like best in the world or 100 mil or any of that crap.
One thing I will say that I agree with Prems and Lewis. For me, 70 M's max. Anything above that's just they're extorting you. But English tax and how modern day football's going. So West Ham probably aren't selling for no cheaper than 90. But
I don't see why that's the case though, because Cancelo, however you pronounce his name, Moises Caicedo for Brighton, they was quoting 80-odd million for him. He's had one season. Let's
that was because they didn't want to sell him.
That's why he didn't get signed, though, innit? Because
they were trying to price everyone out.
Declan Rice was one of the best midfielders in the league for 2-3 seasons in a row for West Ham. When they had their very good season, he was one of the top 3 midfielders in the league. And then obviously he's not been as good as the seasons have gone on because West Ham just fell off completely. But he can still play at that level.
You know,
if you put him in a team surrounded by good players, I'm pretty sure he will elevate that team.
We're just throwing this £100 million price tag around too easy now.
The £100 million price tag is only being thrown around because of the likes of Grealish, and he's the English tax. We all know that he's not a £100 million player, but if you add 20 or 30 mil because he's English, it works out to him being around a £70 million player. And
I don't think Declan Rice is going to be selling shirts out left, right, and centre though as well. You get me? So they need to hold it back a little bit.
I was going to say, I think for us, because I was going to say what you just said, George, that if he goes to a top 6 team, he will elevate because he's around better players. That will naturally happen. But I think for Arsenal, I think you would agree, Prem, and a lot of your families. I rate Xhaka. Even when he was doing the madness, swearing at the fans, and I've always said there's a player in there because you'll see him for Switzerland and he'll look like a different man. So me personally, I've always rated him. But I think Arsenal fans know in the next 2-3 years to go to that next level, that's one position you'll probably have to upgrade. Because if you put Rice alongside Partey with Odegaard in front, it's scary times. So I think for Arsenal, it'll be a good fit. Yeah. But it has to be feasible. I think if they're going to say 100 mil now, I think Edu, Arteta, and Vinay and that, they'll be like, nah, we can get someone else. That's for
and they're gonna want to have somebody that's gonna play that system. If Declan Rice could come in and do what Xhaka can do, because see with Granit Xhaka, I wasn't too keen on him, and I'd be honest because he was a liability. You get me? He was getting red cards all the time, yellow cards, and it just wasn't happening. And now this season, he's found his best position. Arteta's found a position that suits him down to the ground, and I don't understand why any previous manager hasn't actually deployed him in that position. And I think if he could come in and do that position, then yeah, but I think now the way Arsenal are working, if we do go and win this Premier League, they're going to want to bring in players that are going to fit that same system, you get me? And I think only improve on the players that we got. I think Declan Rice, for me, I don't think he's come in and do 10 times better than Granit Xhaka. I think Granit Xhaka has been one of the best midfielders in the league this season, where I think if we went in for a Jude Bellingham, I think that is an improvement, definitely, you get me? Obviously, whether we'll get him or not, that could be dreaming, but that's how I see it. I think all this 100 million and that it's a bit of a mad thing because you can see West Ham, they're not going to let this guy go for pennies. And like George said, Caicedo, 75, 80 million, Brighton were wanting, get me, priced him out of the move. Same situation.
But don't you think that
for me, Liverpool don't need Jude Bellingham.
Like his ball carrying ability, his ability to drive up the pitch with the ball from deep. Rice is very good at that. He can carry the ball past players. He's got a great long range pass. Do you not think that that's something that you guys lack in your team at the moment?
No, I think he can offer us that, but bro, right at the moment we're 8 points clear at the top of the table. You get me? So we're doing something right. You know what I mean? So you're telling me Thomas Partey can't pick up the ball and drive it forward because that's what he's been doing all season. Granit Xhaka picks up the ball and does that. I'm not saying he wouldn't. He would come and add something to our team that we might not have in abundance. But I'm telling you now, for 100 million, there's probably players around Europe that you could get better than Declan Rice. I'm telling you now for a fact. Trust me, I think that's too much.
Paulinho for me better than Declan Rice.
Get me? Savic, Milinkovic-Savic, man. Milinkovic-Savic as well. Quality player.
Yeah, there you go. Milinkovic-Savic, you got McAllister as well there. You know what I mean? There's more players, but going to Ramsey, yeah, obviously you man are linked with obviously now you ain't got the facilities for Bellingham, but it is. Were you always on that Bellingham hype, or did you want like 3 midfielders for the price of 1?
You took the word out of my mouth. I said from the jump, I would rather 3 for the price of 1. That's more beneficial to the squad because you know what? We'll all agree. Jude Bellingham, he's a fantastic baller. I don't think anyone's disputing that. But a lot of our fan base act like this guy is above God. Like he's like the second coming. Like he's gonna come in and everything's gonna change for us. That's not the case. We'll still need other players around him where we know how it officially works. We spend all that money on that one player. And by the way, with Ox, Milner and Milner might even flip and extend, but with Ox, and them three are cutting. So we can't just sign Jude. We're gonna have a big void to fill in our midfield, which is our main issues. But I've always said 3 for the price of 1. But it's principle when it comes to this Jude though, because this is a player we've held out for about a year. We snubbed Bruno and then waited for Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni then rejected us. If we don't get Bellingham now, it'll be a big embarrassment. Me personally, I've always said I'd rather 3-4 midfielders over him, but because of how long things have gone and the principle, we have to sign now because we're going to have egg on our face. If we don't, we have egg on our face. And I always said this, if we finish outside the top 4 and Real Madrid and City are in the race, they could offer more. They could offer him more wages. He's guaranteed more trophies. It's a no-brainer. If I'm in this position, I'm not coming to us. You have to look at it from a player's point of view. But I see he did one interview just before the World Cup saying he cares about legacy and he wants to give football fans moments. And I'm thinking he was basically trying to say, Liverpool's the best suited to him. I think you can do that at any club. Gerrard, you know what made me laugh side as well? He put up a selfie of his dad after we beat you 7-0. And he had like a 7. And all our fans jumped on his bandwagon. Oh, yeah, he's guaranteed a Liverpool player now. And it's that. Just chill out, man. He might have just happened to wear that top. But on the Bellingham thing, we kind of have to get him now because it'll be an embarrassment. We've actually turned down midfielders that would have put us in better stead for this guy. Yeah. For him not to come. Nah, it can't really happen now. It can't. No, and I agree with GD, like FSG are a problem, but the things of our fan base as well, we're scared to call out Klopp because these past 2 windows were on Klopp. Like he held out for Bellingham when he could have signed 2-3 midfielders to put us in a better position. Even look at January. We did not need Gakpo. You could have spent that 40 million on a midfielder, but he thought, you know what, let me sign another attacker. So I think the last 12 months, the blame has to be shared. Klopp, we need to stop letting Klopp get away with murder. He is to blame, side. We know FSG is the problem. They've not invested properly the last 3-4 years. But these last 12 months, Klopp has to share some of the blame. I'm sorry. And our families don't like to hear this, but the truth hurts.
No, truth hurts, man. And like I said, big up to Guti says Mount to Liverpool. They're going to call him the next Gerrard. You know what? Mount obviously is at the minute. You know what I mean? The minerals, man, them are not happy, Lewis. But are you happy to sell him to one of your rivals? Are you happy for him to just be flogged? Obviously, they're selling him, but they're selling him to your rivals, innit?
Whoever wants him, have him. I don't care. I don't care. This ain't like the Jorginho one where it's like, I feel like we're actually helping a team out. I haven't rated Mounts for like the last year or so. I couldn't really care less whether he goes because he's going to take a massive amount of stands and simps with him, and it's going to cleanse my football club. And it'll also be one of you guys' problems to deal with, and you lot can sort that out how you wish. But for me, let Mason Mount go. I don't really care for him. I don't care about this whole PR train surrounding him about how we need to keep him and all of that. We don't. We'll be fine. We sold Eden Hazard and won a Champions League. Mason Mount ain't going to be that deep. For the way that he's playing, for the wages that he's asking, for the fact that he's so proper Chelsea, he doesn't want to sign for under 200k a week and he doesn't want to sign for 6 years. Someone take him. I don't care. He could go Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, United, City.
No. Keep him away from Michael. Go Tottenham.
Go Tottenham.
I would not Newcastle.
You might go Newcastle. You never know.
If he wants
that's a shout.
Merseyside Minerals, you can have him.
But you know what? I think Newcastle will probably prioritise Maddison, innit? But you know what? The way the money they have, they might be
McTominay right now.
McTominay is
They want McTominay.
I see that.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, is Tottenham going in for Maguire, do you reckon? And that's not even taking the piss because I've actually been seeing links about that.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, one thing as well, BX Gunner says here, Neves to Arsenal seems possible. I'll take Ruben Neves over Declan Rice in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I'll take Neves too.
But the thing is, though, you say Maguire, the back three would suit Tottenham a little bit, you know what I mean, in what they do. But listen, man, Maguire, he's going to flog season, man. There's going to be a lot of flogging going on.
The guy said he'll suit them in what they do.
In terms of that, playing up on the back and that, you know what I mean? He does it for England. We don't play free at the back. They do play free at the back. Imagine that Eric Dyer and Maguire at the back, man. That would be calamity.
That's a calamity.
That's a calamity waiting to happen, man. Just imagine that, man. But for me,
I
think there's going to be a lot of...
You lot weren't selling for cheese as well. You asked for about 60, 70 minimum.
No, we want as much money as we can for that, man. You know, we spent 85 million. I still only got a Solskjaer. Don't know how he did it, but he did it. But it is what it is.
But for me, ultimately,
Yeah, exactly. I think there's going to be a lot of change around this summer. I think there's going to be a lot of teams having to kind of take players on where they're like, should we really take him? But like now, everyone's going to be flogging on. Chelsea going to be flogging on so many players. People might be taking crumbs, like, you know what? It's crazy. People might be taking like leftovers, and it's you don't want to be that team that takes over.
You say this, Saeed, but I don't feel like there's not options for a lot of these players, and that's why a lot of our squads are so pumped right now with players that we don't want. Every team's having this problem. It's not just Man United, it's Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. Everyone is, because Europe's can't afford our players. The players that we're going to sell, unless we're willing to sell them for 10, 15 mil, no one wants them. They're not good. You can get better players out in Europe for half the price that they're going for. We're all going to be stuck with these players until they terminate and end up going championship and stuff, because no one ain't buying these. And everyone thinks that Chelsea are getting this mad clear out. I don't think so. They're going to try to. A lot of the players won't leave because these clubs aren't going to pay them the same wages they're getting at Chelsea. Unless Chelsea are willing to give them packages after they're leaving to continue paying them. A lot of them ain't leaving. Same with Man United.
But you know what, George, though? I think Arsenal, we're not in that situation, though, because
maybe
what Arteta done is, even if we couldn't get rid of the players, my man was just chopping up contracts, and just taking them up. Big man, he was just chopping man's contract, P45. See you later.
You know where he done it smart? He didn't just do it at once. He gradually done it like window by window. That's where he's smart.
Nah, it's proper. Like now, you look at the team, you're thinking, right, who can you add to this and it? Like even players like Reece Nelson, who once we thought we could sell on. This guy, every time he comes on, he makes an impact. Eddie and Nketiah, everyone was saying, Jesus, he's going to be
in a club where he'd have a major responsibility. I feel like certain players are just squad players to know their role. And this is not being disrespectful, but I feel like once they have that big game, like, you know what I mean, they have that responsibility, they're not going to be able to do it. I don't think so, man. Like,
it's like Origi for us. Origi for us. Like, just knew when you come in. No, you're spot on saying that they know their role. And that's the thing. When you're the reason why Arsenal going forward will be calm as well, because when you got that, if they win the Prem, which kills me to say, I think they will. Once you get that winning mentality, players, that's why City were able to keep the likes of all their big players for so long, because you thought the Real Madrid and Barca's might come in for the Agueros and the David Silvas. Because they kept winning all the time, they're thinking, why are we going to leave and go back home when there's that winning mentality there? So, no, you're right. Squad players will be happy just to be in the squad if you're winning.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Guys, it's been a good show, man. Make sure you guys are liking the video, man. There's over 800 of you in the chat, man. So please smash the likes up, people, for the man them. Let's talk about the kind of individual seasons, obviously, just for the last 15 minutes or so. In terms of where you're at, how you're at, international break. Arsenal, let's start off with you because you're top of the league. 8 points clear with a game in hand over Man City. Are you kind of nervous? Are you excited for the last running? How's you feeling right now?
Nah, I'm excited, bro. I'll be honest. I've backed the boys. You get me? I can see the way we've been playing this season, and I'm confident. You get me? When I go to the games, there just doesn't look like there's no fear. We're playing with freedom, fluidity. You get me? Now the likes of Jesus is back, and we're in a good position. You get me? Look, we've got 3 tough games in my eyes, which is Newcastle, Man City, and Liverpool. But nothing gives me any evidence this season saying that we're going to get beat by any of them teams. Maybe Man City might be tricky because of the experience they have in the title running. If he's injured, maybe he's got a groin problem or something like that. But we don't know how long he's really going to be out for, innit? So, if he's out,
how long for the Arsenal game?
If he's out for the Arsenal game, it's going to be big. You get me? Because I don't think Alvarez is ready.
Let's just put a pin in that. The Haaland, I heard Rashford dropped out. It's mind games. When the Prem starts, they'll all be back. Like we know this. We know this.
No, I agree. But I think really, if we can maybe beat Liverpool and draw with City, or beat City and draw with Liverpool, I think we'll be all right. To be fair, and I think, look, we got to lose like 3 games in the last 10, and I don't think that's going to happen. We've only lost 3 games so far all season, so I think it's a really good opportunity for Arsenal to go on and actually win the league. You get me? I think players are coming back. Yeah, we might have a few injuries now with Tomiyasu and Saliba, but I don't think Saliba's injury is going to be too bad. I think he'll be back in a few weeks, and I think the squad, there's a big lift around the place right about now. And normally when you see this, good things happen. Everyone's on board. The atmosphere is good. Even before the match, the pre-match build-up is ecstatic. The players look to be playing with each other. Martinelli's on top form. Saka's on top form. And that's what you need when you're going to go for a title. You can't just have one player that you're relying on. You need good quality performances from a lot of the people in the team, and we're seeing that and we're getting it. Shaka's getting the goals as well. Zinchenko's playing well. Kieran Tierney come on as well, played well, got an assist. Thomas Partey, just the general in midfield. It is looking good right about now, and I'm confident that we'll go on and win the league. Now we're out of Europe as well. We've got one competition to focus on. Obviously, I was pissed off going out of Europe. I'm not going to lie or butter over it. I wanted to win the Europa League, but now we're out of it. We just got to take the positives, and I think with City still in the FA Cup, City still playing in the Champions League, and them not winning the Champions League before as well, they're going to have to try to balance the squad. We've seen Pep Guardiola do a bit of a madness this season with his squad, and I think the last 10 games, if we go on and push and have that belief, take it game by game, hopefully we can go on and win the league, and I'm confident.
For you, Rums, Carefree Lewis and George, obviously they're your rivals. You know what I mean? Are you still confident Man City will win the league? What's your feelings, Lewis and George?
Yeah, still believe in City. Still believe in City. Until they're lifting the trophy, I still believe. And even if that happens, I'm not watching it, so it didn't happen in my eyes. But yeah.
I'll send it you 100 times on Insta and Twitter and everything. You get me?
You think you'll be able to contact me if you win the league? My phone will be in the fucking river or some shit. I don't know.
Lewis, I can't lie. I'm going on holiday, bro. Everyone around me just in my ear all summer. I have to take a flight during that parade.
The day of the trophy parade, I'll be in Amsterdam. I won't be here.
The internet will break. I think London will
you should want Arsenal to win, though, bro. You get me? After all the pain City, of course, you over the last couple of seasons.
Do you know what it is? You know what it is? George will back me. George, like all season, I wanted Arsenal to win, but it's just recently, Prem, like after the Bournemouth win, that credit to you lot. There's certain games in title races. Yeah, you remember when Company scored from far out against us, and he'll never do that again. That he never done it before, never did it again. There's certain moments in title races where you think, yes, there's the Bournemouth. When you lot beat Bournemouth, I just accepted it. But for me, I wanted Arsenal to win it all season. Kaz will back me, George will back me, but it's after that, and I heard everyone around me just lapping it up. I was like, you know what? Yeah, City have hurt me, but I don't mind them winning it again, Carl. I can't deal with it, bro. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, but it's not like they're sticking it on Liverpool fans, are they? They're just enjoying the moment. Why hate? Appreciate, you get me? We've not been in this position for 19 years. Enjoy it. George, let me tell you now, if you man were in the title race, you'd be having a heart attack right about now. You might not even seen you lift that trophy before, you get me? So it is different. We've 19 years of not being in this position. I tell every Arsenal fan, yo, lap it up, because if you're a fan, yeah, and you spend your money going to watch the team and following the team, these are the moments you die for. These are the moments you want to believe in. Next season, yeah, this team's ready to go on and challenge for the league. You get me? You know, you're not just throwing money down the drain. And at the moment, bro, the way we've been playing football, we've been playing the best football in the league. See, with me, bro, I say it as it is. When we're shit and we're playing diabolical, I'm the first guy to come out and just literally say it exactly as it is. But right now, bro, we're playing unbelievable football. You get me? Everyone's pitching in. The plan looks to be going full tilt, and it looks like maybe Arteta's prioritising the Premier League, in my honest opinion. And I think maybe if we do win the league, it might be the right call. If we don't win the league, then obviously you're going to have to ask questions in it. But to be fair, bro, just lap it up, Arsenal fans, you get me? Because it could be another long wait until we go on and potentially be in this position again with everyone strengthening in the future.
Yeah, no, look, Arsenal, they're coming close. And as you said, as the games get down, they're coming closer and closer to doing it. For me, like Premsy said, I think it comes down to the City and Liverpool game. If Arsenal win or draw against City, I think they've won the title. That's the way that I see it. So until that game, I'm going to still keep believing that City are going to come out here and do the job, because I believe that City will continue to win. They don't crumble under the pressure. I've seen Arsenal crumble, and I'm not saying that is something that you always do, but you have done it. So until I see you against the big teams in this last title run with a few games left, especially since Newcastle was a game last season that they done you over for top 4, those 3 games are going to be big games.
Do you know what, though, George? I think I hear what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. Over the years, we have seen that Arsenal crumble when it comes away towards the end, but I think this is totally different now. I think this is a different Arsenal with the mentality that we. You agree that we got to understand. We
need to see it with our eyes before we call it, and that's what I'm saying. Until
every all right, okay, I understand what you're saying, but how many times have we sat here on the best of the rest, on all different platforms, saying, "Oh, this is a challenge for Arsenal. That's a challenge for Arsenal." Going to Tottenham away where they haven't won in years is a challenge for Arsenal, and we've overcome every single test. The one test that we didn't overcome was City at home. Again, we didn't have Thomas Partey, and that's not me making excuses because the better team won on the night. And if you see my fan cam, that's exactly what I said. But look, even Anfield, we're not won at Anfield for loads of years, but we're breaking different kind of records at the moment. You get me? We're overturning shit. Yeah. So hopefully that could just be what it is. We've lost 3 games all season in it, and we played everyone more or less once. United came, the informed team. We won in the last minute, got the result. Do you know what I'm saying? This Arsenal team's different. If this was Arsenal of old, if this was Arsenal of old, even that Bournemouth game, we wouldn't have even drawn that game, bro. I'm telling you, at best, we would have drawn that game. The mentality is different, you get me? And it's developing and growing game on game, you get me? Now we've got experienced winners in this team. Jesus has won the Premier League. Zinchenko's won the Premier League. Jorginho's a winner. There's winners now coming into this dressing room. You got to think Arteta has been around Man City when they've been winning the league year in, year out as well. He's now transferred that mentality into the boys and give them that belief. That's why I think all Arsenal fans are confident. That's why all Arsenal fans think this time it is different. Because I do agree, over the years, we have bottled it. But right now, every single hurdle that's being thrown at us, we overcome it. When we got beat by Man City, 2 points behind you, they're on your heels, we're 8 points clear again. You get me? That takes some doing with the team that we all can say is a different animal who's been winning, 4 out the last 5 Premier Leagues?
And you know what?
Let's move up. Yeah, let's move. Go on.
Just the last thing to back up Prem. The reason why I feel it's different as well is the shrewd signings Arteta made. Like he's brought in winners in Jesus, Zinchenko, who's the other one? Jorginho. He's brought in men that have won big honours that can kind of deal with this running. Like to the younger players, look, head up, but not that it's head up because everyone's confident anyway. But if let's say there was a little blip, they can lift the young players and encourage them. So they've got they've now got winners in that squad. So that's why it's worrying as a rival fan.
No, 100%. Big up to Diraj as Partey's injury was the main reason for crumbling last season. If he stays fit, we have a good chance. Big up to Diraj as well. Keep smashing the likes of people. Liverpool, what are you saying, Rums, man? Liverpool, your kind of season so far, international break. How are you feeling going into international break now?
The thing is, it gives Diaz and Thiago will be big for us coming back because they're 2 quality players. I think we'll all agree with. It's just whether it's starting to get annoying now because you can have such a good player in your team, but availability is the best ability. We never know what games Thiago is going to be fit for. He comes in for 2-3 games and he goes out again. But our last final push, we need to do better against the bottom half teams because I said it last week on Best of the Rest. I actually think we draw our next 3 games. I think we draw against City, draw against Arsenal, draw against Chelsea, and draw against Arsenal. I genuinely believe that. But then we'll lose. I think we got Leeds after. We'll lose at Ellen Road. That's just Liverpool this year. If you look at our home form, beat City when everyone thought we wouldn't. Smash you lot, Saeed, when everyone thought we wouldn't. And then the next game we always lose. But I think if we can get, I'll say minimum 3 to 5 points out of our next 9, and then just do well against the bottom half teams, we can push for that 4th. But I think we're too inconsistent, and that's why I think we'll just miss out on 5th. But we just need to go for it now. We just need to improve against the bottom half team. But I do think we take points off both Arsenal and City. We do have a say in this title race.
That's the feeling, though. It's a sad reality, though, from where you were last season to now having a say in the title race. It's kind of mad. Where do I think? Listen, I think for me, Tottenham now with this resurgence now of Conte, the players might actually play now, and they might go and get top 4. Newcastle are in there. Like, do you think you'll get top 4? Or are you just more hopeful, Ramzo?
I've said this for months now. I'm more hopeful because whenever I think, we beat a big club, we can kick on, we'll then lose to a Forest or a Leeds or a Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? So it's like we're going 1 step forwards, 2 step back. So I don't want to keep getting my hopes up just for them to get crushed again. So I'm more hopeful. Yeah. I think I've said this for months. I think we'll just miss out. And even if we get 4th, Saeed, this season automatically a fader. To be 180 minutes away from a quad to now battling for 4th. What the hell? It's automatically a fader. We just need to hopefully get a takeover and we just need to go again in this. I've kind of written off this season, but the only thing we can salvage from this season is top 4, but I don't think we'll get.
Yeah, George, what are you saying? Your team, Tottenham. You know what I mean? Are you gonna feel rejuvenated? Ryan Mason, you know what I mean? He's back. He's ready. You know what I'm saying? Like the Ryan Mason football, man. What are you saying? How are you feeling?
As I
Top
said,
four.
but if we get top fours, it doesn't mean anything to me this season. The only reason why is because unless, as I say, I see a clear long-term plan, getting top 4 doesn't make any difference to our season next year because we're not going to, unless this team, we sign 11 players, we're not going to win the Champions League next season, are we? So whether we're in it, whether we're not, I don't even know what manager we got. So I really don't care about how we finish this season. I just want to know the long-term plan going into next season. I just want to know how we're going to be proceeding as a club. And yeah, I couldn't really care. Finishing top 4 does nothing for me this season at this moment in time because if Conte is gone, Kane's looking like he's going to be gone. What does it mean? Nothing. So top 4, fourth, it's not great. It's nothing to celebrate. I'm not really worried about Liverpool overtaking us. I'm more worried about Brighton overtaking us. They got 3 games in hand. They're in the same position as Liverpool are. They've got a few hard games coming up and potentially Newcastle. So it might be good to see either Brighton or Newcastle get the chance to go in Champions League, isn't it? Like, but if we finish 4th, it doesn't do nothing. There's nothing for me to celebrate. So it is what it is.
I think with Tottenham, though, I don't know. And Patrick said to me they're going to finish above us. You know what I mean? I don't know what Patrick is smoking, but now without Conte, I don't think any Tottenham fan can have that energy, man. But at the same time, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like nobody wants his top 4, man. Newcastle have come out now fighting. You know what I mean? So Chelsea are out, but you know Liverpool are in there. It's all a mess, man. Even for us, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Our fixtures are looking a bit spicy. You know what I mean? Like we've got Newcastle away, a couple of tough fixtures in there. We're still playing the FA Cup, still playing the Europa League. So that kind of like distraction, you might need to take it. You might need to kind of seize on that. You're only playing once a week, so you've got that luxury of playing your strong team every week. That's where I'm like, yo, Liverpool and Newcastle, especially Tottenham, need to be aiming to get into this top 4. But then again, Brighton this season as well, they've only played 25 games. A person who ain't getting the top 4 is probably Chelsea. We can now bury that away now. Top 8, top 7, that's your aims, isn't it, man? Conference League football for you, man.
Well, Conference League, bro, I want my 2 points and then we're good. That's it. I don't need Conference League football. I don't need Europa League football. I gave up on top 4 as soon as Tuchel got sacked. So I haven't even tried to delude myself into thinking we're going to get that crap. Just get me 2 points, maybe get some points at the Emirates, help in the title race and all that. Other than that, I don't care. I don't care. We're going to go to Real Madrid. As long as we go down swinging, I'll be fine with it. Who knows? Maybe we'll even do a madness. We probably won't, but maybe. Other than that, I don't care. It's all a bunch of friendlies to me as soon as we get that last win, and then we're all sorted. Nothing else. No Conference League, no Europa League, no nothing.
Man's even got the hashtag the road to 40 points.
Bro, we were 3 minutes away from it. And fucking Ellis Sims managed to pull us back. And we're down to
Ellis Sims, you know, it's mad, you know.
If we draw to Villa, we'll be a point off. And then it'll be Liverpool doing well.
The top of these, they're doing well, man. You know what?
They're level on points of us. It's a big game. Big game. We dropped to 11. Yeah. We dropped to 11 if we don't win.
And they were in the relegation zone. Unai Emery's done a mad job over there, man. When
Villa's got more.
Wait, they were in the. How many points have they pulled up on us in that time? Fucking hell, man. That's
bro.
Mad.
They were literally 17th, and now they're 11 points with you. Unai Emery has massed, I think, about nearly 15 points since he's been manager. Like it's crazy the amount of wins he's got.
Especially with Watkins as well. I think Watkins got like 6 in his last 9. Like he's scoring for fun. Every time I check my phone, this guy's just scoring. I'm like, bro.
Nice, my dad put him in my fantasy football team before he started to get into form.
I took him out. I took him out just before.
Don't play that game, man. I don't know where I am in that league, man. That's for me.
I fell off over the last 2 weeks, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Now, whoever does fantasy, I got to give it to you, man. Because you must be on point in life, like everything that you do, because every week to go and focus on that, bro. Like I just don't get it, but it is what it is.
Me, I literally after week 3 or 4, I'll forget 1 week and I'll be like, "Fuck it, the season's done."
You know what it is?
I'm not trying to catch up.
Last season I was like that. I just kept forgetting. But you know when you got a bit of, you've got a bit of wonder on the league and that, you're gonna try a bit harder.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah. You know, this is a good point. You know, Villa, I think for me, if they can back Unai Emery, it could be a little best of the rest of the situation because they're a big club, Villa, man. It's just that they don't act like one, man. They should be where Wolves and Leicester used to be. Look at Leicester where they are now. They're done out here, man. They're literally going to get relegated, man. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel
for
like a
me,
lot of
they
the
could
Premier League
easily be
are like-
involved.
You look at 12th to 20th. There's about 4 points separating them all.
Yeah,
like,
it's mad.
The lower teams in the
Yeah.
Premier League are horrible this season. Like there's just
Horror-
the top
horror.
12 and everyone else is shit.
It just shows you how competitive this league is, though. Like everyone can beat everyone in it and take points off everyone.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
pretty
what's
good
best
to be
league in the
fair.
world, man. I mean, in terms of you know, quality and entertainment, it's one of the best leagues in the world, man.
That's why I don't agree with this narrative that the league's got weaker. If anything, it's got stronger. Everyone's how can it get weaker if everyone's closer? Like I don't get that narrative. But I think these last 10 games for everyone, the title race, the top 4, Europe, the survival, it's gonna be a madness. These last 10 games.
Facts, man, facts. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here, man. My hotspot's lasted an hour, so I'm gonna on that one. Big up to everybody who's locked in. There's still 800 of us here. I'm gonna go now, just chill out and you know what I mean, relax and that, and then get to my hotel as soon as I can because it's a war zone out here, people.
Get your
man.
bulletproof on, fam. Get your bulletproof on, fam. Fucking hell, and your hard hat.
I got light jackets and that. You get me? Like it's nice weather out here, but I tell you what, man, Paris is crazy, man. But love to everybody coming on. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I will do, man. Big up Premsy TV. Make sure you all follow him. Big up to Premsy. Let them know, man, what you're saying, man.
Yes, people, make sure you go and follow Premsy TV. Dropped a Premier League Unpacked yesterday. Go and check that out with Guna Lee and Bilal DSG. Obviously, on the road to 6K, people. Appreciate if you go over there and smash a like and a subscribe. Big up the chat. Big up the guests as well. Always eventful. Always a top show to be a part of. Big up yourself, Saeed.
Always, man. Big up, man. And Rams, man, big up to you, man. Honestly, man. Good guy, man. For you for coming on, man.
No, big up with that. You know, when Muntz ain't here, you know you can shout me out beer. But no, thanks for having me again. Catch me on Muntz's channel, BS Big Six Band. Also catch me on the main channel on the Jerry James Show. But yeah, that's where I am. Big up.
Come on, man. Come on. George, big up to you for coming on, man.
Anytime, man. Anytime I'm here. I'd like to say there's something to celebrate, but every time I'm here, it seems to be on bad notes. So yeah, you'll catch me here, there, and everywhere.
Now, big up for not shying away as well, man. You get me on like Patrick.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, big up. Make sure you'll follow him on his Twitter and that, and Instagram, TikTok. Again, big up to you for coming on. Big up to Carefree Lewis, man. You're streaming in a bit as well, innit? What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm streaming in about 2 hours. Yeah, about 2.5 hours. Just some transfer talk. So check that out, people. And yeah, one day we'll get to 40 points. One day. Big up, everybody.
There you go. They road to 40 points. Listen, people, big up to everybody who's locked in. Make sure you like the video on your way out, man. And I'll catch you tomorrow for another video, man. Take care, guys. Bye. Peace.